Over the last couple of days, we've gotten so much new Star Wars news and information about a whole range of upcoming TV series, books, and even a game that many of us have been waiting for a very long time. So let's break down the massive Bad Batch leaks, KOTOR being remastered, and a whole lot of leaked footage from the set of the Cassian Andor show. So before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed for more awesome Star Wars lore content. I also want to say a huge thank you to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Let's start off with the massive leak that came out of the Blackseries line of toys. One lucky guy was somehow able to get his hands on the box for the Crosshair Blackseries figure, which reveals an absolute ton about his fate in the Bad Batch, and how things are going to take a crazy turn. Right away, the figure is labelled as the Imperial variant of Crosshair, which tells you for certain that he is joining the Empire and will work under Tarkin or whoever else happens to be the main villain that will go after Clone Force 99. Below that, however, is something absolutely insane, which will probably shock a lot of you guys. So I'll read it to you now. Formerly a member of the Bad Batch, Crosshair's loyalties shift after his team defects from Imperial service. Committed to the Empire, Crosshair leads a new squad of enlisted recruits. So there we have it, Crosshair will be leaving Clone Force 99 and remaining loyal to the Empire. This must happen pretty close to the start of the season, possibly even in the 70-minute premiere which is airing on Disney Plus on May the 4th, since his betrayal of the Bad Batch has to happen after they leave Imperial service. In yesterday's video, I showed you guys a recently released Clone Wars encyclopedia, which documented Crosshair's absolute hatred for the war and his hope for stability and order. That has clearly turned out to be a massive hint to his fate, as we now know that he is leaving the Bad Batch. After that, we also learned that Crosshair will lead a new squad of enlisted recruits, not clone troopers but human-born stormtroopers fighting for the Empire. This is probably the most mind-blowing detail to me, because we know that Crosshair has a deep disgust for regs. He doesn't like regular clone troopers, and to clones, a natural-born stormtrooper would be on an even lower level than a reg. So I really don't know how he's going to put aside that hate and be able to command them. Either way, that will be a very interesting look into Crosshair's character, and how he adapts having to work with non-clones. This also throws the big rumour from a few weeks ago into the rubbish, striking Commander Cody out of the role of the trooper from the trailer who is being sent to hunt the Bad Batch. Cody will almost definitely still show up in the show because he's a very important piece of the puzzle in the immediate aftermath of Order 66, but he just won't be the main villain going after Clone Force 99. Moving on to the next piece of news, we got a massive leak from the Star Wars LEGO community where we found out some more very interesting details about the Bad Batch's setup for the show. The major detail from that leak was that Crosshair will be featured in the main Bad Batch LEGO set, but not in his Bad Batch armor, instead in his new Imperial outfit. This just further backs up the Blackseries leak and makes it a certainty that Crosshair is not going to be a member of the Bad Batch for much longer after the first episode. Some other parts of the LEGO leak told us that Echo may have gotten a new prosthetic arm, since his screwdriver arm that the Separatists installed was not in the set, but again, that could just be a manufacturing issue or something like that. The leak also went on to say that Echo has a new printing on his arm that survived, meaning he might have a new tattoo, either paying tribute to his fallen brothers, possibly Fives, or maybe even a Bad Batch logo. I can't wait to see what he has on his arm. On top of that, we learned that a gonk droid was included in the LEGO set, meaning that the Bad Batch will have a droid of their very own. This could be the same droid that Wrecker lifts up in the Clone Wars Season 7, or it could be a completely new gonk droid who joins the group. Whatever happens, the gonk is here to stay, and will be part of the group for a large chunk of the show. Now after this, we got a massive leak coming from a very reliable gaming industry source, telling us that a remastered version of Knights of the Old Republic 1 is deep into development and will be released in the not too far future. We already know from the previous leaks in the same vein that the studio behind the remaster will be Asper Studios, who are the same guys that are currently doing all of the remasters and ports of the classic LucasArts games like Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and the Republic Commando remaster, which just came out recently. The KOTOR remaster, however, is going to be a completely separate, fully canon experience, which will fit into all of the current lore. We don't know yet if it's going to be a retelling of the original story or something completely different, but we do know for sure that Revan will be the centerpiece of the Old Republic era in canon. Recently, the High Republic content has been making some very cautious hints towards the Old Republic era, with things like Surek's Blade being an obvious reference to Mitra Surek, and references to the Great Sith War, and possibly even Exar Kun. It's all very vague and nebulous right now, probably because they want to be very careful not to trample on any of the new lore being created with this upcoming KOTOR game. Before we move on to the next piece of news, I want to tell you guys about Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is a virtual private network that comes packaged as a simple, effective and reliable browser extension for your PC or app for your phone. VPNs like Surfshark tunnel your data through encrypted and anonymous servers, allowing you to ensure that your ISP is not viewing your browsing activity, so you can browse privately, keep your searches private and stay safe on the public Wi-Fi. With many governments acting more and more like the Galactic Empire after Order 66, this is something you should definitely consider. Surfshark VPN can even make it possible to view blocked and geo-restricted content across the web. This would be especially useful for those of you who want to watch Star Wars The Bad Batch as soon as it airs on Disney+, but don't live in a country where the service is available yet. With Surfshark, you can change your virtual location to access any content from anywhere. Surfshark also offers one account to use on an unlimited number of devices, meaning the whole family can watch geo-blocked content around the web. So make sure you use my code StarForce1 to get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. Surfshark offers a very generous 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to try it out for yourself as soon as The Bad Batch comes out. The link is in the description down below. Following that, we also have a pretty strong rumor that Revan will begin having a much bigger presence in canon material in the next month going forward, with numerous references and stories about him being told through every era of Star Wars. This is probably going to be in the form of old holocrons or ancient artifacts referencing him and his story, rather than any content taking place back in the Old Republic era, again for the same reason, that they want to keep the canon in that period of time clear for the new game. So tell me down below what you would like to see out of a new Knights of the Old Republic game. Do you want a full remake with a very similar story, or do you want something completely different? Tell me down below. And to wrap up, we got some awesome photos and drone shots from the set of the upcoming Star Wars Andor series, which should be releasing on Disney+ early next year. The first leaked image comes from Canary Wharf, a set location that they also used in Rogue One, which is of course deeply connected to the Andor show. You can expect an absolute ton of connections to Rogue One in the show. In the shot, we can clearly see a bunch of Imperial officers wearing Krennic type uniforms. We can't really gather much information other than that, but I can't wait to see where they take it. After that, we have a video from what seems to be a fan film at first, but the last time this happened and everyone thought it was a fan film, it turned out to be Tython from The Mandalorian Season 2. So I'll play a bit of the clip for you now. I think it's a bit too professional and well coordinated to be from a fan film, and leaks like these have happened plenty of times before from the Mando, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Finally, we have another shot from the Andor set, where we can very interestingly see a sequel era Y-Wing cockpit. I have absolutely no idea why this model of Y-Wing would be around in the time of the Cassian Andor show, so it's probably just a placeholder. It could also be some screen testing for the Rangers of the New Republic show, where the sequel era Y-Wing would make slightly more sense. But really, there's no way to know. So that is this week's news update for everything happening in Star Wars. It's a pretty dry streak for the whole Star Wars universe right now, and not a lot is happening, but that will be changing as soon as The Bad Batch comes out in under 2 weeks from now. Remember to click the link in the description for 3 months of free VPN access with Surfshark VPN. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.